Hi. For question one, it says describe something surprising or challenging that happened during your service experience. One day, well, the way that they have it set up here is that when the guys get off work, they have an opportunity to come home and get a plate of food to eat. But this one day that I was doing my service learning, the guy, he didn't have anything to eat. So he asked me, where's his plate? I said, apparently they didn't make it for you or someone else ate it. So he got really upset. He started to cuss at me and everything like this. And he was saying that this wasn't the first time that his plate was missing. So he was really upset and frustrated, and I was upset and frustrated. But my reaction to him was to keep a level head. I still talk to him in a calm manner. I still try to be as polite to him as I could be given the situation. And even later, I went out, I apologized to him for, not having this plate, because it was kind of a messed up situation. But I even offered him to offer to buy food for him, kind of, just to help him feel better and everything like that. So would I react the same way if this situation happened again or a similar situation happened? I think that I would. I always try to keep a level head, especially when the situation is intense and someone's really high in their emotions at the time. I try to keep a level head and keep them calm, which will help me, stay calm in return. What I think this situation indicated about my personality is that I'm caring and that I'm thoughtful, I would say, because even though he was kind of rude to me and disrespectful to me, I didn't take it as a personal hit to him, or I didn't attribute that to his personality. I knew that he was just frustrated at the time, and so I think that's what it says about my personality, that I'm caring and I'm thoughtful. And question two says describe connections between what you have learned in class and your service learning experience, and it says focus on 5 of these things. So for the first one, I realized that many of the guys are having an intense struggle between their actual self and their ideal self. Many of them struggle with substance abuse issues. I remember this one guy, he tested positive for a controlled substance, and I asked him about it, and he said that he was just really upset. He said, he's 25 years old, he doesn't have anything to show for himself. So I asked him a question. I said, well, what do you want to show for yourself, or what do you want people to see? He said, I want to have a stable job. I want to have a girlfriend. I want to, have clothes. I want to have a car. Just simple things that he desired. So what this showed was there was a struggle between his actual self, where he is now and as a recovering addict, and where he wanted to be in the future. He wanted to be someone who was stable. He wanted to have a job. And because there was a conflict between his actual self and his ideal self, there was an incongruence which caused the conflict within him. Another connection that I made between doing my service learning hours here at the Jermaine Chef home is I realized a lot of men lack self-esteem or self-confidence. From time to time, I would hear a guy say, man, if I can't find a job, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And by them saying that, they were implying that if they can't find a job, or if things don't go the way that they plan for it to go, that they'll maybe turn back to street life, maybe turn back to using, maybe turn back to selling drugs, or whatever their individual situations may be. And I often will look at it and think, why is that the only answer? Why is that the only thing that you can think of to do? And I realize that a lot of guys need what Rogers called positive need for self-regard. Positive self-regard. They need someone that's going to encourage them. They need someone that's going to be in their corner, someone that's not going to look at them funny when they fall short, and someone who's going to praise them and look out for them and give them congratulations when they do well. So my second The second connection that I made is Roger's need for self-regard. The third connection that I've made is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When the guys come into the house, they come into the house pretty much with nothing. They come with, I want to stop it. The third connection that I've made between my service learning hours here at the Jeremiah Chef home and class is many of the guys that come into the house are really at the very bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At the physiological level, we provide them with food and water because many of the guys, they come into the house and they don't have anything but a box and the clothes on their back, and maybe a small check that they receive from doing work in a jail or in some type of detention center. So what we realize is that, what I realize is that they move from a physiological level to a safety level, and we provide them with security. They're able to go out and find employment and get established. Many of the residents are able to rebuild relationships that they lost with their families, or rebuild new friendships. As they grow in the program, they become more confident in themselves, and their self-esteem is higher. So now we're at another level, the esteem level in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And our ultimate hope is that the guys in the program will reach a level of self-actualization where they can be creative and be able to solve problems and make connections on their own. The fourth thing that I realized, or the fourth connection that I've made between my service learning hours here at the Jeremiah Chef and class is self-determination theory. This refers to people who have an inherent psychological need to act in autonomous, self-determined ways and to engage in tasks that are intrinsically meaningful, opposed to having to be coerced to do anything. So, in short, self-determination theory is the people who want it are going to go out and get it. I realized by talking to the guys here that there are people who are determined to do better, who are determined to live a changed life, and then there are individuals who are just going through the flow and just trying to go through the motions and get out of the program. I was having a conversation with this one guy. He was telling me, and he was really excited about being able to go out and look for a job and find a job and go through the interviewing process, because he was determined. He's determined to not live his life in the same way that he used to live it before. He's regained connections and relationship with his family that he didn't have before due to his drug addiction and things like that. So then you have those guys who are just here to get to the next point, or here because they're quarter point, or here because they have to be here, but they don't really want it. So self-determination theory is definitely in effect here at the Jeremiah Chef home. Finally, the fifth thing that the fifth connection that I've made between my service learning hours here at the Jeremiah Chef in class is that I've talked to a lot of guys when I'm here doing service learning, and the main thing that I realized, or something that I realized that's important, that stood out to me, is that a lot of guys deal with denial. So they use the self-defense mechanism of denial. They tend not to understand their role in certain situations that may have landed them where they are in life. I was talking to this one guy, and he was just adamant about getting out of here, about leaving the program. He didn't really understand why he had to be here or why he was here. And his situation was a little weird. He kept saying things like, people trying to get me to conform to this place that I don't want to be, and if I don't conform, they don't, like me, and things like that. Just weird things. And he didn't really understand that it was his mindset that got him where he is, that type of thinking that got him where he is. So a lot of the guys that I've talked to during my service learning hours struggle with the self-defense mechanism of denial. And the crazy part about it is that many of them didn't even know it. Question 3 says, what have you learned about yourself and others? Something that I learned about myself that I kind of knew already, but it kind of got brought to the surface again by me doing my service learning hours and talking to so many guys and just kind of getting a more in-depth view into their lives, is that I really care about people. When we did the Big Five theory in our class, I realized that I'm high in agreeableness, which means I'm trusting, which means I care for people. And it's true. I legit want to see people succeed. I want to see them do the right thing. I want to see them reach the goals that they set for their lives. And I know that can be difficult with individuals with struggling with addiction, but I honestly and genuinely want to see them succeed. So I've learned that I'm very passionate about people. I learned that I enjoy people. I get energy from talking to people. That's the main thing that I learned about myself. What I learned about others is that they can be, being that I'm trusting, I can get taken advantage of. So others can be manipulative at times. I remember instances where a guy I was doing volunteer hours here, and the guy wanted a ride to out to the store or something like that to get some things done or whatever, but he hadn't filled out a pass or anything, and he told me that he had filled out a pass and that everything was cleared. And since I'm on staff here, people wouldn't really think twice about it or really question me. But that day I was just doing volunteer hours. So I realized that me being trusting can be a downfall at times, and I can be a little maybe naive or a little, I think naive is the word. All right, now we're on question 4. Question 4 says, what values, opinions, motivations, or decisions have been made or changed through your service learning experience? I would say, as far as motivations, I am definitely more motivated to talk to people and not just pass people by, to really want to know about how people are doing. I know there's a lot of days that go by where I ask people how they're doing, or people ask me how they're doing, how I'm doing, but they really don't want to know. So we all kind of give that, oh, good, that answer, when really it can be a bad day. So being here, being in the environment with the guys, talking to the guys, I really realized that I want to help people. I want to be able to encourage people. I want people to know that they're cared about. And I also have made a decision to be a mentor to some of the guys here in the program, and it's cool because some of the guys are older guys in their 40s and 50s, and I'm 25 years old, and they want me to be a mentor to them, and it's humbling, and it's a good experience. So because I've done the service learning experience, I've been able to connect with some of the guys in a more meaningful way, it made way for me to be able to share life with them in a more impactful way. So that's definitely a decision that I'm happy that I've made, and it's going well so far. So that's some motivations and decisions that I've made during my service learning experience here at the Jemiah Shop. Question 5, it says, do you feel it is important to get involved in the community? Yes, I've always thought that it's important to get involved in the community. It uplifts the community, it helps people out, and then also, for me anyway, it gives me a boost. I enjoy helping people. I enjoy in any capacity. In this capacity, it's more so being there to encourage people, being there to support people. But I love doing things with people. I've many occasions, my wife and I, we went down we went on mission trips to Chicago to help with the homeless population there, and soup kitchens and things like that. And we went out and we did things on the street, praying for people and giving people food and talking to people and just showing people love. So community service, getting involved in the community is something that I enjoy doing. Will I continue to be involved in the community during my time here at JMU? I absolutely plan on it. Although I only have one more semester left after this semester, which I'm excited about. I'm just as excited to remain involved in the community. So that's something that I look forward to. It says, do you think service would be a part of my life after I leave JMU? I definitely do. I want my wife to love, doing service. I want to teach my daughter the joy of helping people, the joy of bringing smiles to people, the joy of encouraging people. I want her to be a person who seeks to bring joy in people's lives. I want her to be someone who's a helper, and I want to teach her that. So, and that's one way that I know I can teach her that, and that's through by getting involved in the community. I will say though, being a student and being involved is more difficult because of the time constraints. But I would think that in any case, being out of school and being in the professional field, maybe that's the same type of pressure that's there to get involved. So I look forward to being involved in the community. I look forward to doing other things. I look forward to being able to help people and showing my family how much we can help people and how much people appreciate it. All right, now we're on to question number 6. Question number 6 says, what did you learn from your experience that you could use in your coursework or future career? From the Rogerian perspective, he talked about client-centered therapy, and in that he talked about congruence or genuineness. People here that I talk to, they oftentimes say that I'm real, and I think real is just a slang term for someone that's genuine. I think that when people can identify you as someone they can relate to, someone that they can trust, it makes it easier for them to open up to you. And I think that this is something that can take me far in my career. Being a genuine person, being a person that's honest. I remember when we were talking in our interview for the field placement, and you said, excuse me, I'm honest to a T, and then you kind of let me have it. To some people that might seem, kind of weird or anything like that, but for me it was beneficial because I can relate to that and I can appreciate that. And I think that other people can appreciate it too. And I think when you find somebody that can keep it genuine and keep things real, keep things and not just kind of hold things back, I think that can benefit a company. I think that can benefit a relationship. I think that can benefit even coursework or a course workload in class. So I think that something that got reiterated and that I learned, that I noticed from my field placement experience here, is genuineness. All right, now we move on to question number 7. It says, does any one experience really stand out in your mind as being influential, and why? And it also says, if nothing stands out, then why do you think so? Something that stands out from my service learning experience was that the rapport that I built with some of the guys. And it's interesting too, because something I noticed, a lot of the guys, I'm on staff here at the Jamal Shaft home, so some of the guys kind of come in and they see you as a PO or they see you as a correctional officer, but we're really not. We're different. We police things to a certain extent, but we're here on another level, a level that's more caring about the resident. So something that really stands out about my experience here as a service learning is the rapport that I've been able to build and relationship I've been able to build with the guys here. One day, one guy came in and I was talking to him, just asking him how his day was going and everything like that. And he was just saying, that things have been stressful and that he's just, getting tired. He's been out of jail for almost a year, and, he had these goals set that he wanted to meet, in a year's time, and it just seemed like it wasn't going to happen, like he wasn't on track to meet his goals, and it kind of depressed him a little bit. So I had the opportunity to encourage him. I let him know that look at the things that you're doing already. Look at how the big changes that you've made in your life already, and how you're doing things better, and even not only that, how people lean to you for understanding. So I kind of let them see that it's not just about the goals that you set, but it's about the internal things that you do to better yourself as well. And I seen a smile come on his face, so his whole demeanor began to change and everything like that, because he realized, I've really been doing well. And even though these things aren't going as planned, but look how many things did go as planned. So that really brought my heart joy. And then he looked at me, he said, "You know what, Jamar, I really enjoy talking to you, man." And it's those moments like that that brings me happiness, that brings me joy, where you hope when you talk to people, when I talk to people, I hope that they're encouraged, and I hope that they leave changed, they leave uplifted. But when somebody tell you that they have been uplifted by your conversation, it really makes you feel like you're fulfilling your purpose. So that's definitely an influential moment that happened during my service learning experience here at the Jamar Chef. And now question 8, it says, if you could describe your service in one word, what would that word be? And this goes along kind of with question 7. That word would be purposeful. I think it was purposeful for me to be here and be able to talk to the guys and to love them in depth that some conversations went. I think it's purposeful for me to get the insight that I have gotten from talking to guys and from the service learning experience. I really enjoyed it. I really think that it was meant to happen. I think that it gave me more clarity, and it broke that barrier between me and the guys, even as an employee here. So that's it. Those are my 8 questions. I hope that it was clear. I hope that you enjoyed it and that it didn't bore you. I really enjoyed the class. I enjoyed making this film, even though we had the little shortcomings of the deletions and everything like that. But thank you so much for all your hard work this semester. Thank you for being honest with me. Thank you for being real with me, and I appreciate that. I hope to see you next semester, and I hope to be able to build a better rapport with you. Thank you, and look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great semester, next semester, and have a great Christmas break. Bye.